Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. Got the beautiful fire going. Hey, Case. I have my laptop set over here for comments. This is going to be the origin video of Outlaw Samurai. Now, as I mentioned before in my short that I did earlier, I'd like to personally give shout outs to Backyard Knife Dude, who at the time of my mentioning was actually the Backyard Samurai. Sadiversity, Scalagrim, Metatron, all those YouTubers who were around when I was in middle school, they really made me want to get into swords and martial arts and such. And that sparked my inspiration. Now, for those of you who do not know, I was not always originally the Outlaw Samurai. Before I was Outlaw Samurai, I was Backwoods Samurai. And I was Backwoods Samurai 2 and Backwoods Samurai 2.0. And the reason was not because people found out my identity, it was because I kept breaking my filming equipment. For those of you who didn't know. Now, I've always had a fascination with anime and swords ever since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to savagely wake my uncle up at night at 6 in the morning on Sunday to watch the anime Inuyasha. It is officially my favorite anime, and I'm pretty much encyclopedic about it. But in any case, as we continue on, Inuyasha is what got me into swords and everything to a degree. The Tensaiga was what I considered to be a real sword at the time, a sword that a warrior would wield. But then again, it's also anime and fiction, so Tensai swords the length of Tensaiga existed, just not the actual 1-to-1 scale size. Now, to continue onwards, it was shortly after I graduated high school back in 2019, was it? 4 years ago, somewhat. Well, I had actually heard from my great grandmother, Outlaw Granny, and this is the origin of my new name, by the way, what I'm about to tell you, is that my great 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 grandfather, 3 times great over, was a famous Cherokee outlaw named Ben Thompson, who later became sheriff. That's where the outlaw in Outlaw Samurai came from. Samurai, obviously, I love samurai, I love anime, so it was a no-brainer for that. What people don't often get, unless you are a big weeboo, so to speak, or really into Japanese culture as a whole, is the 47 part. The 47 part is a direct correlation to the 47 Ronin, the greatest story of honor and samurai prestige in all of Japan. Now, to give you a brief rundown of that. So, the 47 Ronin, for those of you who don't know, were 47 samurai who served the Lord. Uh, I don't remember the province's name, but I believe it was Aku. So, they served this lord, and one day a neighboring lord came to visit theirs. This lord had tricked the 47 Samurai's lord. I'm going to say Lord Aku for the sake that I don't remember the name, but he tricked Lord Aku into attacking him. Well, I'm going to say Lord Takeda. So Lord Takeda tricked Lord Aku into attacking him, which was a huge taboo. And the shogun ordered Lord Aku to commit harakiri. For those of you who don't know what harakiri is, it's what we in the West associate as seppuku. Now, because he committed harakiri, his family was spared and he kept his honor. But the shogun specifically ordered that his retainers would not be able to seek revenge for their lord. Well, they didn't listen. And I believe it was originally 120 went and fought the first time around, or there was 120 original samurai, but all but 47 of them were either killed, refused to come back, or basically said, screw it, we're done. But the 47 Ronin spent, I believe, 2 to 3 years tricking Lord Takeda into thinking that he was safe and that they would not come to seek revenge. One winter's night, they stormed Takeda's fortress. Keep in mind that this was in the early Edo period, and according to accounts of the time, the 47 samurai actually informed Takeda's neighbors, who also hated Takeda as well, that they were coming, what they were doing, and to stay inside, lock your doors, and just pretty much ignore the massacre that's about to start. And that's exactly what they did, to a degree. The 47 samurai managed to kill Lord Takeda, only losing one man. Some say that he left, some say he died. It's a toss-up, really. But in any case, these 47 Ronin then marched to the shogun's palace, turned themselves in, and the shogun, seeing their resolve, basically said, all right, you disobeyed me, but I really can't blame you. You followed the ways of Bushido, you followed the samurai code, and you took revenge for your master anyways. I'm going to give you a samurai's death. You're all going to commit harakiri, but you will also be buried beside your lord. Well, they did, and there's actually a side story that goes along with the 47 Ronin. It's this nameless samurai insulted one of the 47. I believe it was the leader. And a year after what had transpired and the news of that night had spread, that samurai who made fun of the leader of the 47 Ronin then went to the leader's grave and committed harakiri right then and there. So it shows you just how much dedication the 47 Ronin have. And to pay homage to them, I put 47 in my name. That's the origin of the name Outlaw Samurai 47. Now, it'd be a pretty sorry live stream if I only did this or I just left you to stare at a fire until it died out. But as it appears that I am only, what, 9 or 10 minutes into this, I'm actually going to turn your attention to the sword I have in my hand. This is the crane katana. And in actuality, this is the first ever katana that I bought. This is the first katana that is has a review on my channel, this is where the channel started. It was a $50 katana I bought off of Amazon. It's 10.45. I've beaten, abused, and basically done stupid shit that I would never do with my nicer sword. With this one. And even after 4 years, the wrap is still tight. None of the fittings have come loose, except for the Suba. It has just a little wiggle. The Habaki's tight. The Steppa's tight. The Saya is actually cracked. That's what this black electrical tape bandage is for. You can see if you can't see in the light of the fire, there's a little bit of rust on the blade. I need to clean it up. But yeah, I may do a throwback review for this sword just to show you all of it in its glory. It's still sharp. Don't get me wrong, it's still sharp. But this is where the channel started. And funny thing, actually, this was actually my first ever Amazon purchase as well. So you could just imagine, like, 19, 20-year-old me. I had been fired from Walmart at that time for stupid reasons that I've said before in previous videos. I'm not going to reiterate. But in any case, after Walmart fired me for the most retarded ass reasons you could possibly think of, yes, I said retarded. I'm from the generation that used to use that as an insult, so there you go. But in any case, it was my second and last check that I got from them, and I decided that screw it, I'm going to buy a sword. And I did. I went to Amazon. I think I made two different accounts in an attempt to buy a sword. So I did. I bought this one, and I bought the Orchid katana, which, in retrospect, probably should have brought out with me, but I'm not going inside to get it. So after I had bought this one, I did my first official cutting video for the channel with this. Now, I had also, this was actually the first sword I also used on the work sharp as well. And I was blown away by its ability to cut. Keep in mind, this is all very early Outlaw, before I knew everything that I know now, and before I had developed the skills to do the crazy, stupid shit that I do now. But yeah, this is where the channel and all the cutting videos started. This humble $50 sword that has stood the test of time and still kept on going. You can see I'm very proud of it. Now, you're probably wondering, Outlaw Samurai, you said that you were originally Backwoods Samurai, and yes, I did say I was originally Backwoods Samurai. You're probably also wondering at this point, Outlaw, why the hell were you wearing a mask? Well, at the time, if you had watched the if any of you have seen the TAC show on YouTube with Brother Tactical, he wears that face mask and fedora. That's where I got the idea from. Hell, to this day, the fedora is still a part of my repertoire. I just got rid of the face mask. I thought, I'm going to start anew. I might as well just let everybody know. And the first actual video of my channel, which is a Goblin Slayer rant, because I love Goblin Slayer. I don't care what anyone has to say about the controversial shit about it. I love it. I love the violence. It makes me happy to watch it. I don't care. I'm not apologetic, and I'm not compromising on what I like. I'm as real as the trees, the grass, and this fire in front of me. And I'll keep iterating that point till the day I'm nothing but a hunk of worm shit. But in any case, what was I thinking? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, hunk of worm shit. Like what I like. Oh, yeah. In the first ever video on this channel, the Goblin Slayer rant is actually I introduce myself as the outlaw samurai, and I basically do the face reveal of they thought they could get rid of me, but I have returned. The backwoods samurai is now outlaw samurai. And after 4 years and not really explaining my origins, I figured now would be the good time. Coming up on the 5 year mark. Damn, I've been YouTubing for 5 fucking years already. Time flies. And I can't thank you, noble band of outlaws, enough for listening to my bitches and ramblings all this time. But as I continue this video, you're probably asking yourself who Backyard Samurai was. Well, Backwoods Samurai was mainly inspired by Backyard Samurai in terms of the name. Backyard, backwoods. And before he deleted his previous channel and became the Backyard Knife Dude, he was Backyard Samurai. He had all kinds of different raptor. He was the first. I think he was the first one to cut with the Hanwei Raptors, either the Unakubi or the Nanbukoto. I think he had both until he deleted his channel. And damn if he couldn't do doubles. He was the OG king of doubles back in the day. You think Tempest is good? Tempest, my boy, I'm sorry I have to tell you this, but back in the day, you had nothing on Backyard Samurai. Okay, that dude was one. That dude was one reflex point away from scoring triples. I love how he used to always end his videos, and I think he still uses the same outro today. It's like, I gotta go, I'm terribly busy. And he used to always say, like, fuck, fuck, fuckity fuck, or whatever. I loved how he had all these different swords and all these different katanas, and I saw him cut, and I was like, there's no way he's cutting through this. There's no way he's getting that. And I was always amazed by his cutting ability. Scalagrim, moving on to the next inspiration, Scalagrim and Shadiversity, they pretty much fill a similar niche with me. Both of them provided me with uh, European sword knowledge. Back in high school, I was a total weeb. I didn't even give European swords the time of day. It was always katana, 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 katana. And I believed all this bullshit hype about Damascus steel and how strong it was. Keep in mind, this was still high school, middle school outlaw. This wasn't modern, now outlaw that knows the difference. Don't chastise me in the comments. 10 minutes after live streaming and no one. Do y'all not have post notifications turned on? I mean, my fire is almost dead. I gotta get my poking stick. A lovely bed of coal. No shit, I'm actually I'm actually getting charcoal. That's another thing. If you put wood in a metal can and burn it, you can make charcoal. Get back in there. There we go. Little tiny charcoal fragments are trying to get out of there. But yeah. But after watching Shadiversity and watching uh, Scalagrim and all them, I started to have a much better appreciation for uh, European swords. And it was actually Shadiversity that actually first turned me on and told me about the Kriegsmesser and the Falchion, and that there were single-edged European swords, because the knight swords just didn't interest me. It wasn't because I believed that they were huge, clunky beater weapons. It's just they were not as appealing to me as a katana. I don't know. Maybe it was just the anime-loving weeboo in me, and the fact that I used to binge watch fucking anime like it was a religious practice. I'm not joking. I used to binge watch anime like it was my religion. Honestly, I have really stopped binge watching anime a whole lot now. As I've grown older, there are less and less animes that have captured my hype. Basically, captured my attention. I have heard about season 2 of Goblin Slayer, so I'm interested in watching that. Just I haven't gotten myself fully pumped and motivated to do it. I usually, as winter's getting here, I'll probably start binging anime again. I have watched all of the new Baki content though. But yeah, Shadiversity and Scalagrim, they really turned me on to the European stuff. And in actuality, I learned a lot of my sword fighting techniques from watching Scalagrim's sparring videos and Blood and Iron martial arts, and when he was a student there. My whole sword style is basically, it's kind of like the way Taskmaster does it. He watches and he learns. I watch and I learn, and then I put into practice. But yeah, Metatron was also another one, since he did a combination of European and Japanese. I was basically getting 2-for-1 specials when I watched his videos. And also, uh, he's the one who taught me the drawing the sword from the back technique. When I did the whole "you can draw a sword from your back" video. If you look through my videos, I did a lot of part ones and such and so that I didn't really follow up on. Holy shit, I melted the fucking thing. So I'm playing with fire. I get easily distracted, and then I start playing with the bright, shiny fire. But in any case, Shadowverse, not Metatron. As I watch, even now I watch his modern stuff, and I have to agree, Metatron is catching a lot of shit, but he's also speaking a lot of truth. So there's that. Now, I'm sure many of you have also been wanting to know about my philosophies when it comes to certain things like threat prevention and such. Now, keep in mind, I spent the latter part of the last 3.5 years of my life working alongside a retired Army Ranger when I was at McDonald's. I won't reveal his name because of privacy, but we will call him Outlaw Ranger. In any case, he basically became like a second father to me, and I learned a lot of my beliefs now from him. That's when you. That's why when you hear me say something about, uh, I believe the best threat is a dead threat, or I believe that the best threat, the best threat prevention is to just simply destroy all possible threats. I learned that from him. I adopted a lot of his beliefs on threat prevention and what to do with your enemies, and I adjusted my martial beliefs to the same. I have a private sword style, my own confirmed sword style that I created, and my own martial arts called the Iron Wolf style. The only problem is that because I believe in this philosophy of overkill is the best policy, I can't just willy-nilly teach it to anyone. Because there's only two things that will come of my techniques. Permanently crippling somebody or killing them. So I can't just teach some random person this my sword techniques or my actual fighting techniques. Unarmed fighting, I should say. And I know a lot of you are going to say, Outlaw, he was military, he has his motives and his reasons for believing that way. Well, he may have been military, and he may also still be military, but that doesn't mean that I can't adopt his philosophies as my own as well. We learn from our elders. And I thought long and hard about all that. Over the course of 3.5 years, the shit that he had to have gone through to have those philosophies. But at the end of the day, to me, they still made perfect sense. They still made perfect, uh, rational sense to me. Because if someone attacks you and they get away, what's stopping them from attacking you again? Or if someone threatens you, what's stopping them if they get arrested from just coming back and attacking you again? Nothing. Nothing but the knowledge that bug. Nothing but the knowledge that they believe you won't do shit to them. And to tell you the truth, my noble outlaws, it's not just because Roger. Well, that's all the name drop I'm going to give, by the way. It slipped out. So, Roger, if you watch this, sorry, it slipped out. But that's pretty much the only thing I'm going to say about uh, Outlaw Ranger's name. But in any case, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's not just because he told me of his past experiences that I believe this. Some of you may not know, and I'm I'm more than willing to guess many of you don't know that I received my fair share of bullying and harassment when I went to school. And yes, I said and threatened some things that I now later on regret, but at the time, if I had the means and ability, I probably would have gone through with a lot of those threats and racked up my own body count. And I still thought that way up until I met Outlaw Ranger. And as we worked together and as he kind of pseudo adopted me, I started to hear, he used to tell me all these stories. And he taught, he even taught me some martial arts himself. And through these exchanges and through these conversations, my philosophy, it became what it is today, which is kill all enemies, destroy all threats, and protect what you want to protect, and cherish what is yours to cherish. And I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to uh, say that he was wrong. And I'm not going to say I was wrong. What I believe. This is America. We're free to believe what we want. That's our right as Americans. I have my own reasons for thinking the way I do and believing the things I believe. Other people have theirs. I'm not here to question or bring them into context. As long as you don't push your beliefs on me, I still hang out with you. It's only when you start acting the fool that I'll start trying to distance myself. But yeah, there have been many times in my life where I'm not even going to lie to you, my noble outlaws. There have been many times in my life that I've just straight out wished people would die. Hey guys, what's up, outlaw? What's up, outlaw in space ghost? What's nothing much? Trying to edit the next video. Well, you guys missed pretty much the whole origin story and my spiel about my beliefs. Trying to get the damn light to turn back on. Okay, come on. There we go. So you'll probably want to rewind the video. But Space Ghost, Gargoyle, you guys got any questions for me you want to answer about my origin? If you want to just backtrack through the video, you can. Just explaining my philosophies about martial practices and some of my life philosophies. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to warn you. Some of the shit I say gets pretty dark. This is a pretty dark video. You can tell the difference in the tone of my usual voice. But seeing is, oh, I almost forgot. I still have one more piece of wood. Spray, spray. There we go. Y'all can hear me, right? Alright. Hold the button. Unfortunately, no, I haven't gotten a chance to film that yet. Been working on the G-Say death poem. I see, we got a whole side conversation going on. But for a quick recap, uh, I was basically saying how this has been pretty much where, in terms of sword collection, this is where it all started. The Crane Katana from Ace Martial Arts on Amazon. Damn, only been on 36 seconds. Y'all sure you don't have no questions concerning my origin or anything? I pretty much ran out of stuff to talk about. I'll give you a minute. Some more comments over here. Cool. Space Ghost, you got anything you want to ask me? I mean, I could always cut something, but wasn't really planning on to. There we go. I mean, I guess it's not a live stream unless I cut shit. And don't worry about the fire. What the hell is it? And don't worry about the fire. There's plenty of water right there in case I need to put it out. You know, it's kind of weird. I have not cut with this in so long. Still has an edge, so we'll see. Beautiful. Right there. Right pretty, that is. Oh, that happened. Let's do a pumpkin on the fire, for fuck's sake. Okay, Gargoyle. Like I said, it does get fairly dark before I noticed you guys chimed in. I give a reason for a lot of the ways I think and the ways I do things. Yep, that's the problem with 1045. It's dull quickly. I'm used to my more expensive swords that don't dull after just a couple of cuts. Whew. You want to see what a burnt pumpkin smell looks like? Believe me, it is not a pleasant smell. I'm going back over to the warm fire. Ooh. Ooh. Fire, good. Fire, very good. Oh, Space Ghost. I just noticed something that is very not good. I have yet to make you a moderator, like I did with Gargoyle and pretty much everyone else in the sword community. Hey, Tempest. Yeah, it's cold. I got the nice fire going right here. My fire pokey stick. Oh, yeah. There we go. Break off them embers. But yeah. Hello, Esca Illumis. Thank you for appreciating my content and the more than likely possible health risk I'm going to have from being out here at night. I am not smart. If I was smart, I would have gotten one of those uh, fake fireplaces with fake fire and done this inside. Probably would have ran up the same amount of electricity. But yeah, just did some cutting, Tempest. So, do any of you have any questions about my origin? This is the origin video, and I'm here to answer questions and or potential comments. What is the lore behind being an outlaw? Well, I'm glad you asked, Esat Illumus. If you rewind to the beginning, you'll know, but I'm going to tell you now. So, the origin of my name, Outlaw Samurai, is a combination of three things. One, my love for samurai. Two, a Japanese legend, which is actually true. And three, the thing I'm about to say now. So, my great grandmother, we all know as Outlaw Granny, is a half blood Cherokee. And her grandfather was a Cherokee chief. And that father before him was the famous Ben Thompson, a Cherokee outlaw turned sheriff. Now, when I heard this story back in high school, I loved the name and I was thinking, and I was trying to come up with a new YouTube name. Something different than Backwoods Samurai as I was before. And then when I heard this, I decided to become Outlaw Samurai in homage to my ancestor. Now, the samurai part of my name, well, that's pretty self explanatory. I'm a full on otaku weeb and I'm not apologizing for anything. But the 47 aspect is basically to pay homage to the 47 Ronin. And in case you didn't know, Escott, the 47 Ronin were 47 samurai who served a lord. I believe he was Lord Aku. Basically, the lord from the neighboring province tricked Aku into attacking him in his home. This was a taboo. Aku had to commit harakiri, which in the West we know as seppuku. His retainers, well, they didn't like that. Shogun said, you can't take revenge. I've outlawed it. The 47 basically said, fuck you, we're doing this anyways. They did. They killed Takeda. I believe that was his name, Takeda. And brought the head to the Shogun and was like, well, you disobeyed me, but you basically followed the code of Bushido and the rules of the samurai, so I can't really be mad at you. I'll give you a samurai's death. You'll be buried next to your lord with honor. You can all commit harakiri. And so they did. So the 47 is to pay homage to the 47 Ronin of Japanese history. There's actually a side story that goes along with 47 Ronin. This samurai had insulted the leader of the 47 Ronin a year prior to the events of them killing Takeda. Well, when this samurai uh, heard about what had happened and how all the other 47 Ronin had died, it's Ako. Ah, thank you, Tempest, for your continual correction of my not knowing shit. I, I hope, I really do hope Tempest shows up to every live stream because he usually corrects the stuff I get wrong or the stuff I'm not entirely correct on. But yes. Well, in any case, this samurai, after basically insulting the 47 a year later, goes to the leader of the 47 Ronin. Magic! Heat! Give me heat! Not putting out enough heat. But in any case, he goes there and he commits harakiri as well, right at the grave of the leader of the 47 Ronin. That's the whole mythos behind the 47 Ronin and the 47 in my name of Outlaw Samurai 47. Well, that sucked. Now, this, in case anyone is wondering, was my first katana, and still is my first katana. This I bought off of Amazon for $50 4 long years ago. 1045 blade. I've completely removed the Haman pattern. It was fake anyways. Wind changed direction on me. But in any case, I completely removed the fake Haman. And even 4 years later, she's still tight. The only thing that moves is the Suba. It has just the ever slightest wiggle. Like, Abaki's tight, Seppa's tight, Suka's tight. Honestly, this could have set this could set a standard for $50 swords. Even the Kashira is still rock solid. Even after all the swinging and the cuts that I've done with this on and or off camera. And as we can see here, I don't know how well you'll be able to see them. Oh, there they are. You see these chips along the mune, the spine? That came about because of me being a dumbass and uh, trying to split a 2x4 in half with this sword and the Orchid Katana. What I did was I had this sword in the 2x4 and I took the Orchid Katana. This will be the stand-in for it. I took the Orchid Katana and I bashed the spine of the Orchid Katana into the spine of this one. Hence why there is so many dings in the back of the Mune. I know. Doing cringy as hell shit. But it survived it. And honestly, even though it should probably be a lot worse than it is, this thing is straight bent. And what I mean by that, it's straight, but it's also kind of bent. So yeah, I'm not always smart, and when my inquisitive thoughts take over, no one really knows what I'm going to do or what I'm capable of doing. I don't even know what I'm capable of doing or what I'll do when my boredom kicks in to full effect. I honestly expected you guys to chastise me more. Maybe we need more fire. Ah, warm. I'm finally warm. There we go. Oh, freezing there for a minute. The tempest is just, I'm used to it by now. Just, I think I set the inside of the wood on fire. I'm sorry, Tempest, that I have to use you as an encyclopedia or thesaurus or whatever the hell it is that you use to correct your spelling. One benefit of being outside in the cold ass weather is that your drinks get cold. So, what style do you practice? Well, Tempest, I actually practice my own self taught style. It's called the Howling Wolf, Iron Fang, Wind and Thunder. And basically, it's not a style that a lot of people would consider practical these days. And what I mean by this is, it's not a style meant to simply push away. Still, it's not really a style meant to subdue attackers in traditional sense. I said this earlier, but my style and my belief both focus on the same principle of the best threat is a dead threat. The best enemy is a dead enemy. And I live by this principle as well. There is no mercy, there is no compassion in my style. It is cripple you for life or kill you. Those are the only two options that come out of my fighting style. Which is also why I can't just teach it to anyone. And a lot of you may think, Outlaw, that's a little too aggressive, that's a little too cruel. And yes, that's why I said it's not really accepted in today's modern society. But there is logic behind this. Let's say you get attacked by someone, like Hiten Mitsurugi. Pretty much, Tempest. Let's say you get attacked by somebody, and yes, they go to jail. Okay, what's stopping them from coming back to do you and even your family this time around bodily harm? Nothing. The police aren't going to watch you for the rest of your life. You're not always going to be around to protect those you want to protect. And I learned my philosophies on battle from an Army Ranger. For his name, I'm not going to name drop him, but his a title on the show is Outlaw Ranger. In any case, I learned all my philosophies on battle and martial arts from him, basically. And just like he always used to tell me, Charlie Tango, he would say, the best threat is a dead threat. Hence why I believe the best threat prevention is just simply kill your enemies and kill your threats. That way they can't come back. And that stops it all. Now, that may spark a slew of revenge, but in the long term, it's effective. True, Marsh was not a nice guy. And I'm not even going to lie, there have been multiple times in my life that if for the fact that there was not laws preventing it and the fact I would go to jail, I would literally have a body count. I'm not going to lie. I'm being dead serious. I would have a body count if there was not ramifications for my actions. This video is not usually my cheery style. It got dark when I was explaining my origins, and it's going to go from light and dark even now. Even now, you can see I'm trying to talk without really getting upset. Light turned out. There we go. But yeah, I bet none of you thought that my origins would be so dark. And yes, not all my origins are dark. A lot of them are happy. Hey, Zuburi! Thanks for showing up. I ain't heard from you in a minute. But yeah, I would actually have a body count by now. So, yeah, it's not something that you should take pride in, but it's something that you should acknowledge that you push somebody far enough, even the most gentle of giants, they have a temper and they will use it. You ask anyone that knows me personally, they'll tell you that I'm pretty much a laid back guy, but the moment you threaten me or someone I'm close to, all hell's gonna break loose and you're going to receive the full wrath of someone who doesn't give two fucks when they're pissed off. I'm sorry for bringing the mood to such a place. Anyways, any more light-hearted questions? Something to kind of cheer up the damp mood around here? As I go from looking at the screen to looking at uh, the other screen, realizing I probably should have bought a lot more firewood. Yeah, Tempest, that explains the Muramasa thing. That's why I would always choose a Muramasa over a Masamune. And why I believe the Muramasas are superior blades. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? A sword like the a sword that can a sword like the Masamune, it'd be a good idea for a lot of people, like Kenshin from uh, Samurai X, or a lot of people that don't want to hurt somebody else. And then you have someone like me who, when the chips are down, I'd rather know that if I need to, I can use the sword to do what I have to do and not have to worry about the blade deciding it's not going to work. Plus, demons are just awesome. Fight me on that. Tell me truthfully, you never thought that there would be such darkness to my origin. Like you all see me as happy. Oh yeah, I'm completely okay now. In truth, when I was in high school, I used to bottle up everything. I'd bottle up my anger, I'd bottle up my rage, I'd just keep bottling it and bottling it and bottling it until basically the cork would explode. The shed, one of these instances, I actually caved in a corner of the shed that has the corner caved in. I did that with a 16-ounce framing hammer. Thank you, Zaburi, for loving my videos. But as I got older and I started to talk to Outlaw Ranger really helped me. The me before I met Outlaw Ranger, you all wouldn't want anything to do with. I was an asshole beyond assholiness. I was the asshole of assholes. And I credit a lot of my change to Outlaw Ranger. But he also told me something that I'll never forget. He said, Charlie Tango, you have to control your demons instead of them controlling you. So one day, I just stopped bottling everything up. I just let the hatred and the anger and everything out, and now I'm perfectly fine. It's like that scene in the first Avengers movie. You don't think you would feel regret for killing? Genshin's whole show is about the. Now, see, even Tempest has a numbnuts moment with the keyboard. That, yeah. My philosophy is now just live with it. Just let your anger, your hatred go. Like Bruce Banner and the Hulk. The moment Bruce Banner stopped trying to control the Hulk and was like, okay, I'm just going to let you out. Do whatever the hell you want. He stopped transforming. All the poking and prodding from the Avengers did nothing to him. And then he just suddenly transforms into the Hulk. That was the movie. That movie made me realize that I just have to let my anger and hatred out. Let it fuel me. Let it give me power. And ever since then, I've never been happier. I'm not angry anymore because I'm in a constant state of anger and hatred. It's actually helped me, to be honest with you. I've never been happier than I am now. And that's why I'm able to make such great videos for you guys that you seem to love. Even though I don't know why you want to hear me bitch and ramble for excess number of minutes doing stupid shit. I'm sure there's a lot better uses for your time than entertaining my vanity. I'm on my phone. It fucking hates me. Sometimes phones be that way. But please don't worry about me so much, my noble outlaws. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm fine now. Because I know that if I need to, I can snap on a fucker and then snap back within the same time frame. Right? I've learned control and I've learned how to basically not fuck everything up. But yeah, that's why when you hear me talk about why I think someone should just let's talk about anime characters. That's why I have a problem with a lot of the superheroes in like DC Comics. Batman, for example. Don't get me wrong, I love Batman, but at the end of the day, he kind of prolongs the war himself. I've always been more partial to the anti heroes, the ones that will do what is necessary in the moment. The same with me. If I think it's necessary in the moment, I'll do it. But aside from that, that's why I love heroes like Wolverine and Deadpool. Deadpool said it best. A hero, you're not born a hero. You wake up, brush your teeth, take a shit like a hero, but you're not born a hero. A true hero does the shit no one else is willing to do. Which, let's be honest for a minute. You look at these Marvel superheroes and the DC heroes, and they're all hypocrites. Like, they'll chastise villains for what they do, but at the same time, they're doing a lot worse shit. All right? I don't know what you're going to say. Outlaw, they're the like. Come on. Turn on, damn it. Well, there we go. Almost fell on my ass. I know what you're going to say. Outlaw, hero was like, the heroes protect people. And at the same time, yes, but at the same time, do they really protect people? I mean, you look at Superman. How many times has he put Lex Luthor in jail, or how many times has he just pushed back or warded off characters like Brainiac? When a good laser beam to the forehead would take care of Lex, and burning would, and I don't know, virus or something would take care of Brainiac. Hey, Joe. What the fuck is going on in here? Well, nothing much. Just explaining my origins, Joe. You missed all the dark shit. Yeah, just rewind the last hour. Maybe it's because he's cold. Oh yeah. Thanks for reminding me, Tempest. I am cold. Ah, true, Joe. We are all a little dark, but that's a lot better. And I'm cold again. True. And if you look at it from that way, yes, the heroes do let them live to make comics and money, but you could always just make a different comic at a different date before they were arrested or shit. Just make all the other shit non-canon. But aside from that, that's why I get Batman. And then if we switch gears back to Batman, I get his no killing rule and his no gun rule. His parents were both killed, but at the end of the day, look at what Joker, Penguin, and all the others of his rogues gallery do in comparison to what Batman does. Sure, he'll put them in Arkham for like a month, and then they'll come up with some master plan of escape and then terrorize the city again. Honestly, heroes do more harm than villains because every time they put the villains away, the villains come back with a plan to cause more destruction, more damage, and more casualties. So, at the end of the day, who's the real villain among the heroes and the villains of comics? The villains who initiate the plans or the heroes that don't end their terror? I kind of want to see like more realistic takes on what somebody would do if they were thrusted into a situation where they were given powers and abilities like the ones we see in comic books, animes, and manga. I get. Well, you're still here, Joe. Uh, I'll show you the first ever sword I bought. This is the crane katana. I bought it from Amazon for $50 years ago. I'm not a crazy comic junkie, but we all have to admit DC is a lot darker than Marvel. I think the latest, the Batman, was one of the best ever. My all-time favorite is the Dark Knight trilogy. True, and the Dark Knight trilogy gives us the best representation of a real world version of the Joker. Whenever a hero, whenever it's a long-standing uh, tradition in stories or legends, whenever great heroes rise, great evil comes to knock them down. And whenever a greater hero rises, an even greater evil comes to knock it down. It had a fake Hamon on it, but I have since completely erased that. Oh, that was cool. I did the whole finger flip thing. How long have I been on? An hour and 16 minutes. I knew it would be a better idea to make a live stream than an actual recorded video. But as it's getting stupid cold out and I'm beginning to not feel my feet, I'm afraid I'll have to call it here, my noble band of outlaws. Thank you again for showing up. Thank you for watching my content. And I hope you enjoyed my origin video, the good, the bad, the ugly, and my fugly face. Hey guys, I'm out. Peace. And again, thank you all for watching. I hope to see many more comments on my future videos.